So here we have a standard contact record for Pat. So it's everything that if you're using Salesforce, you'd be familiar with. And just a note on this Salesforce org, this Salesforce org has Fontiva installed in it. So there's a full AMS system within this Salesforce org. So some of you or most of you may already be using Fontiva. So this demonstration is in a Fontiva org, basically. So how would you launch the agent? You have an icon up here in the top right. If you click the icon, you'll see that the employee agent surfaces. And here you can see some fairly standard out of the box suggestions that you can do. So you can summarize this record and things like that, or draft an email. So I'm going to ask it a deterministic question, which is to tell me what the revenue is so far this year. And we'll see what it says. So it's asking me for a time range. So I'll just say here so far this, or I'll just say from the beginning of this year. So it's gone and done the calculation. It's returned the value here. So this is an example of a deterministic question. So what's actually happening is I've configured a flow in the back end of this agent, which is basically doing the calculation. And the reasoning model, the Agentforce reasoning model, which is called Atlas, if you were curious to know what it is basically picking the correct topic and the correct action to use in order to respond to this question. So I've created something in the back that says, if you receive any queries related to finance, then there's a topic with all the instructions and an action it can use. So the action is basically the flow, which is effectively doing the mathematical processing in the back end. And then that information is getting passed to the LLM, and the LLM is responding with the results in natural language here. So the other thing that you could ask it to take it even further, for instance, is what is the annual income this year compared to last year? These are quite simplistic for purposes of demonstration, but you can make it much more granular than this. Obviously requires a bit more configuration, but this is just to give you sort of an indication of what's possible with it. So you can see the income from last year was 50, and then the income from this year is 251. So other ways you could use this, for instance, is you could ask it, tell me how many members are associate members or something like that, or tell me how many members are associate and belong to a particular chapter or a branch or something of that nature. So this makes reporting quite easy. So if you need to report on the fly, for instance, then you can use the agent to help you do that. So the other thing I will demonstrate is drafting an email. And drafting an email is basically non-deterministic because it doesn't have to do any mathematical calculations. So I'll just pop a question in there. So I'll ask it to draft an email to this contact, so this one here, with information about their subscription in the email. Include the exact term end date of the subscription, as well as indicating what the active membership is. So you can see in the prompt I'm giving here, it's quite specific. So there is a sort of, the more specific you are with your queries, the better response you'll get. So we'll just send this through. And in the meantime, I can see the subscription is here, which has 288 days to lapse. Ends 30th of April 2026. So it's drafted this email here, and you can see that it even tells you that it's an associate. Yeah, it's an associate, and end date is set for the 1st of May 2026. As in Fontiva, memberships always renew on the day after the expiration date. So From here, you can then ask it to revise the email or include more information. Then you can either send the email from here or you can copy the email, things like that. And I believe you can also configure it to send a list email as well if you wanted to do something like that. So that's basically the some things you can do on the staff side. The other thing it can do, for instance, is also, like, for instance, if you wanted to update the email address on this enter to just check what it is currently. Say again, this is a simple field update, but this can update fields anywhere for any records related to this contact. I'll just click confirm here. And also create records. So this is a really quick way of creating related records for this contact, or you can do more complex things with this as well, because it can see the record you're on, and you can, even if it was for someone else, for instance, you could just put the name down, then it will find the individual and it will make the ask if you want to make the changes. So 3 simple things here: drafting an email, some data retrieval, and a field update or record creation, for instance. And you can see a number of different suggestions here as well, should you want to go any further with it. And you can give it feedback. The more feedback you give it, the better responses you'll get. So that's the employee side. So what I'll demonstrate next is a agent that I've deployed into the Fontiva portal. Again, if you're not using Fontiva, all the same things apply. You can deploy it into any digital experience, Salesforce digital experience. And like I say, you can deploy also onto your website as well. So if you just give me a moment, I will set all of that up and then show you.